Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The US President Joe Biden says he hopes Northern Ireland parties will return to power sharing soon in a speech hailing 25 years of peace. Mr. Biden, who earlier met the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, is in Belfast on a 4-day visit to Northern Ireland and the Republic. His visit marks the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement, a peace deal which helped end 30 years of violent conflict in Northern Ireland. Addressing a small audience in Belfast, he says protecting peace in Northern Ireland is something that brings America together.
Supporting the people of Northern Ireland, protecting the peace, preserving the Belfast Good Friday Agreement is a priority for Democrats and Republicans alike in the United States, and that is unusual today, because we've been very divided on our parties. This is something that brings Washington together. It brings America together.
Body cam footage released by the Louisville Police Department shows the moment Officer Corey Galloway engaged with a shooter, killing him.
God, don't have an angle!
At least 5 people were killed and several more injured when a gunman entered Old National Bank in Louisville, Kentucky. Another officer who responded to the shooting is in a critical condition. Meanwhile, Tennessee's Republican governor has signed an executive order to strengthen background checks for the purchase of guns and has urged lawmakers to pass legislation tightening gun laws. Governor Bill Lee's order comes in the wake of the Nashville school shooting that left 6 people, including 3 children, dead last month. The state has some of the most lax gun laws in the United States. Italian ministers have called a 6-month state of emergency in response to a rise in migrant numbers crossing the Mediterranean from North Africa. The decision frees up €5 million in funding and coincides with the arrival of 3,000 migrants in just 3 days. A number of boats have landed on the Italian island of Lampedusa, and the Coast Guard has rescued some 2,000 people since Friday. Migrant arrivals in Italy have risen sharply compared with the same period last year, despite efforts by Italy's right-wing coalition government to clamp down on irregular migration. Police have tackled and detained a protester running towards the French President Emmanuel Macron as he arrived at the University of Amsterdam's science campus. Footage posted on social media shows a person running towards Macron as he exits a vehicle and greets people. The police tackled the individual and pinned him to the ground. This is the second time the president has been targeted by protesters during his 2-day state visit to the Netherlands. The United Nations chief says Somalia is suffering from the impact of a climate crisis that it has done almost nothing to create. Visiting the country where a drought has killed 43,000 people last year, Antonio Guterres said some 8.3 million Somalis, almost half of the population, require urgent humanitarian assistance. At a camp in Baidoa in southwest Somalia for people displaced by the drought and fighting between Al-Shabaab, Guterres said some 1.4 million Somalis had been displaced.
Poor and vulnerable communities are pushed by the drought to the brink of starvation, and the situation can get worse. Between now and June, 6.5 million Somalis are expecting to face high levels of acute food insecurity. So the risk of famine is still looming. And
the actor Jeremy Renner has returned to the red carpet in his first public appearance since a nearly fatal snowplow accident a few months ago. The Marvel actor strolled the red carpet to welcome his new Disney Plus series, Renovations, where he strips his personal fleet of huge vehicles and transforms them to meet the needs of communities. Renner's longtime friend and co-host and one of the executive producers, Rory Millikin, says it's been remarkable to see Renner bounce back only a few months separated from his frightening accident.
Thankful, grateful, you know, I mean, he was in terrible shape, but to see him bounce back like this, to see his manifesting what he talks about, set a goal, don't give up on it.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.